of that land, certain portion of it is farmland.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, when Bishop Quire made his declaration for agriculture as one of the key pillars of his administration, the agriculture program was almost at a standstill. And so, after our appointment to lead this program, our vision had been to scale up the existing infrastructures that were around. That required scaling up, required rehabilitation, repairs, and all of that. And we decided that we should start in White Plains and then gradually move out to other project sites.
Okay.
And so at White Plains, we had 200 acres, which we have been trying to operate to scale up those infrastructures that were there, like the livestock infrastructure. And as I speak, for instance, most of the livestock infrastructures have been rehabilitated. The poultry buildings, the pigrates, we have introduced a cattle ranch and shelter, and we have fenced in about 4 acres so that those cattle and the goats, the sheep, will be on free range. And then also the shelter will be there for night and also extreme climate situations. Right now in the White Plains area, we are reaching out to 8 farming communities. We are using the local congregations in a simple district area as our entry point. And so we have 8 farming communities. Like in White Plains, we have 2. In Harrisburg, we have 1. In Bensonville, we have 1. In Carisburg, we have 1. And of course, in Upper Fender, we have 1. As well as in Louisiana, like I would call the Southtown, we have 1. We are using the local churches, the United Methodist local churches, as our entry point. So we have these FBOs already in existence, involved in different enterprises, livestock enterprises, piggery, poultry, and beekeeping.
After 2017, 2018, then we had a situation with the COVID. And you know, the COVID situation was a complete drawback to any meaningful project. Notwithstanding, we have been encouraging the entire conference, especially stimulating the various districts, superintendents, and encouraging them to preach alongside the gospel, sustainability, especially through agriculture. And during some of our annual conferences, you hear reports from the district conference, district superintendents, that they have engaged in doing some farming work. And one of the areas that I have really been impressed with for the past 4 to 5 years is the Grand Bassa district. There is a young man who runs a program by the name of Clarence Benson, and he is a member of the Grand Bassa district. And Clarence has been trying to do sustainability, and what he has done the Grand Bassett district has about 300 acres of farmland, and they received this gift from a family in the 1980s. But Clarence was able to cultivate about 3 to 4 acres with oil palm. And when I went there, I was so impressed and even encouraged the Grand Bassett district to cultivate the entire farm. And if everything goes well, the German church that is one of the partners to the program that Clarence runs will be assisting the Grand Bassett, in fact the annual conference, with some money to really survey the 300 acres of farmland there. And so we know that much have not been done, but at least we have started. And so the process is ongoing. I think when you came in earlier, you heard the director telling me now that I need to go back to White Plains because I said I've not been there for a while. And so I need to go and see what is happening. But everywhere I have gone, we have encouraged the district superintendents to start farms. Just recently, we were in Wisdom Town, and the president and I and the CFO, after going through the area, I said, in fact, I told them that Wisdom Town was a gold mine, and so there was a need to really work on the land so that the gold can come out of that land. It can benefit the university and the entire annual conference. Yeah. So far we still going on with the dream, in spite of the fact that the COVID came and disrupted a lot of things.
That statement is still true, and it can still be achieved.
Okay.
Made a reality. Like over 2021 and 2023, we had a project with GBGM, which is implementing the Yamasu Agriculture Initiative, and we benefited from that project, which again helping us in scaling up, as I said earlier. The first phase is ending as of the 30th of April this month, and the second phase is will be launched like in June, and that second phase is also will annex camp formation. We'll bring on board camp formation to do some of the initiatives that we have started in White Plains to be continued in camp formation, and subsequently we'll be going to other mission stations and other districts. Like we have the district agriculture committee, the DACs. Each district have a district agriculture committee, even with the circuits, and this committee was set up. We had a planning retreat where all of these district agriculture committee were established, and they are now existing. We hope that as we continue, we'll continue to annex them and lift them up. As Bishop said, our drawback has been the COVID, because if it had not been the COVID, most of those committees will be functioning, and there will be projects at every level of the districts. Like right now, we do livestock sales like chicken, and it is our commitment that the sales that are made are deposited into a different account until a certain point in time when we realize that we have accumulated X amount before we begin to tap on those sales. And so with the business office and UMRADP, we have an account that will be operated and that will be depositing all of our sales into until at such time. And sales continue. Like right now we are in sales, selling some chickens. Our pigs are growing, and even in the with the farming communities that we have, they have pigs and they have chicken, and sooner or later they will be reaching maturity for sales to continue from there. We may not be able to say that this is the amount that we will help the conference, but we are mobilizing, and we are making these sales, and we hope that within the next year or two we can incorporate other area of the church to continue to operate in the area of agriculture.
I think what is happening is we are still in the I would call it the pilot stage, because most of the investment, they almost like you're experimenting. You know, agriculture takes a lot of time before you can really start getting the dividends that you have invested in. And don't forget, sometimes you put crops, you plant crops, and there can be crop failure. Sometimes even I remember that the Board of Pension, in collaboration with UMRADP, were trying to raise some pigs, so that the Board of Pension could gain some financial benefits. And then they started to sell some of the pigs that were that were mature. But unfortunately, at a certain point in time, there was some disease that was coming, and so the UMRADP, they had to get rid of the pigs that were there. So like they started all over. So like he said, they are depositing, they're making deposits. So maybe at the appropriate time, they will let the annual conference know what they have, what has come out of all of what they've been, doing. But the main thing is to what they have started to continue, because at another point in time we planted 10 acres of cassava, and the cassava, from there they were able to purchase a machine that would process the cassava into gari, farina, and then after that, after they harvested and everything, they were able to sell the farina, and all of those sales, I think they are making deposits. Not like he said, they have an extra account, where they're doing it. So maybe at a specific time we will know exactly from UMRADP exactly where we are and what UMRADP can make to the development of the conference. Originally, the plan was to have made the White Plains the demonstration field, where if you want to if you want to go out, you start from White Plains. That means White Plains would have had, say for example, we want to do oil palm. White Plains would be the place that will have seedlings on nursery. People can come and, so everything could, so we want to throw our weight to White Plains. White Plains and Dikosi, because they are closer. And if, for example, the other day I just told the coordinator for the Bishop Yamasu Agriculture Initiative, I told him that what we really want to do now is to put our attention and to focus our attention on oil palm. If we can put oil palm in those 200 acres in White Plains, and Dikosi, how many acres?
Because you have 500
acres. If we can put oil palm in it, I think that would be. But we encourage the other areas. And now my attention was just drawn to Gbeson Town. Looking at the kind of soil that we have in Gbeson Town, I think we need to. That's why UMRADP itself will have to take interest in the Gbeson Town again. I was just asking Reverend Theoway whether he'd been to Gbeson Town before. He said yes, several. He even did his internship. So right now, I would like to place my attention now to White Plains. because White Plains is closer to us. It's accessible, and you know, when you grow produce there, people can have access to it. For example, right now I understand there's a shortage of eggs on the market. So if White Plains started to produce eggs, maybe we have layers and start producing eggs, you know the impact we'll have on the economy. Even when we are coming during the holiday season, there can be a lot of shortage of chicken and eggs and these kind of things. So if White Plains is producing that, obviously you know the impact it will have. So my concentration will want to be to White Plains. I want the White Plains to be the demonstration center, because I can recall when we were coming up in the church, White Plains was the agriculture basket. Yes, people came from all over, and even when people went for retreat at the Estro Nagbe Retreat Center, they got all of them produce the eggs from White Plains. So that's what we really want to do again, and then from there we can spread to the other districts. Like he mentioned, camp formation. In fact, all of the mission stations, we need to do investment, especially if they are farmland, we need to invest quickly. Even we need to invest for the future, not for this present time. My attention is to the future of the church, so that in 5-6 years from now, when I'm retiring as a bishop, when I look back, I want to say, yes, I'm leaving something behind. I'm leaving a legacy behind for the next, generation of leaders that will come to the church. I'm tired hearing the word every time we come here to office. No money, no money, no money. Now you see me sweating, because right now there's no electricity in the building. And why? Because it is said that there is no money. So we've been out of current for the past 2 weeks, and this is not a good thing for us as a church. So we want to really do something about this no money syndrome, and that the land will give us money. The land is the natural bank that God has given us. The only thing is that to start agriculture is tedious, it's cost intensive, it's labor intensive and everything. But thank God that once we start it will succeed. And so that's what I can say for now.
Recently, we had a discussion with our partner, and we concluded that we'll be doing for 2023-24, we'll be doing about 200 acres. And so we will be developing a central nursery at White Plains for about 150,000 seedlings. And we also earmarked to bring in a tractor with all the implements, like the wagon, the plows, the ditch plow, and all of those. And this will be also for transporting some of the seedlings to where we want to send them. We'll start with 50 acres in Ganta. I mean, not Ganta, but camp formation, because we already went there and did an assessment. And we'll start with 50 acres in Nikosi, and 150 acres will be at White Plains. And so, but the central nursery will be at White Plains, and then we'll be transporting them because a palm takes 12 months to be mature for the seedling to be transplanted. So we earmark 2023 to do the establishment of the nursery, and then in 2024 we'll begin to do the transplanting.
We cannot neglect agriculture. And agriculture and evangelism go hand in hand. Reason is that you can give the man the good news without feeding him. Okay. Because when the disciples and Jesus went to a far place, a very remote place, after preaching, the disciples came to warn Jesus, you got to send these people away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's getting dark. There's no food here. Jesus said to them, feed you. Go and feed them. Go feed them. Find food. Don't send them away. So I believe if we can help our people to grow their own food, at the same time teaching them and preaching the gospel. That's what we call the holistic ministry. We're giving a holistic gospel. We're giving a holistic salvific message. We're not just telling them Jesus loves you and this and that, but when Jesus loves you, Jesus feeds you. So that's what I just want to say. So to the United Methodist Church in Liberia, to all the district, the various districts, and all the members, let's go back to the soil, because that is where our heritage, our inheritance